Hello guys, how are you doing? This is Skylark and Happy New Year guys. So in this video we're going to do a formal review of the WingFlex overhead panel. And so basically I'll show you guys in greater detail of the overall build quality, the functionalities, and give you some in-flight demonstration of this specific retail unit of the overhead panel. So somehow it turns out the unit I received earlier back in November was actually an early prototype that was sent out by accident by their dealers in China. So they confirmed with me that all the overseas orders. So basically, if you're ordering from Europe or the United States, you're going to receive the same batch of the panel as this one. So I got this one as a replacement unit. And so some of the issues on the early prototypes have been properly addressed, and I'll show you guys that on this video as well. So just in case you are still concerned about some of the issues, no, I think they can be answered in this video. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. So first, a question that I got asked a lot is, what is the size of this overhead panel? So basically, I don't have a meter measurement with me, but I'll give you guys a side-by-side comparison of this unit with a 16-inch MacBook Pro. So basically, I'll put it up here. You can see the main panel is about the same width as a 16-inch MacBook Pro. And if I put it flat like this, you can see, yeah, it's basically the same width again. Okay, so hopefully that gives you guys a better understanding. And in terms of height, yeah, it's about the same height as well. So that's a pretty lucky coincidence here. But hopefully that gives you guys a better understanding of how big this unit is. And my table is relatively small, and you can see how it stands on my table. Okay, so hopefully that answers the first question about size. And second of all, let's talk about mounting. So right now the overhead panel is standing on its built-in stand, which is at the back of the overhead panel, and there are multiple slots where you can adjust the angles. And there are some rubber feet on the stand, so they actually stand pretty sturdy on your table if your table is big enough. So basically, you do not need to have the additional Visa mount stand. That's I think it's sold separately right now, but I think if you ordered like early enough, I think that's included, but I'm not really sure at this point. Yeah, but the other option is to mount it on any Visa mounting stand. So basically, this is the one that's officially released by WingFlex, but because this is just a standard Visa mount, I believe any Visa mounting stand with a proper locking mechanism can work in this case, because I mean, when you push it, you do not wish basically the stand to wiggle, right? So it has to have some sort of locking mechanism here. Okay, all right, so that's the second thing. Now, in terms of the build quality, I'm just going to give you guys a really close-on shot of the overhead panel. And so you guys can see closer what the textures look like on this unit, right? As well as the details on the buttons. Okay. All right, and like I said earlier, the light leaking issue has been fixed on the actual unit shape. So let me turn off the light. You can see, yeah, so the backlight is spot on right now. No issues. Okay. And I can turn the room into, let me just turn off all the light. You can see, yeah, no issues at all right now. Beautiful. All right, and I'll turn on the dome light as well. All right, so 2 settings on the dome light. Okay, let's turn the light back up. Okay, and also, right, if we're turning down the backlight on the buttons, you can see the buttons, they're absolutely black. You won't be able to see the font. So very good jobs on that. Okay, so I think the overall build quality of this unit is very solid. Okay, so hopefully that answers your concern regarding the backlighting situation on this unit. All right, so next I'll show you the knobs and buttons on this unit. So first the IRS knobs, right? So these ones, they have a very good feel and click, although they do not have the locking mechanisms like on the actual airplane, right? But yeah, very solid feel. And then we have some locking buttons, right? So these ones, they do lock in place, right? And the fire buttons, they got slightly higher travel. And they do lock in place as well. Okay. And these ones, the agents, they're also locking buttons. Okay. The same for the fuel pumps. They also lock in place. The batteries as well. Okay. And there are also some non-locking buttons. For example, the external power, right? They do not, these ones do not lock in place, as you can see. Okay. And this is the same, pretty much the same knob as the IRS switch, but the air conditioning knobs, they do have more settings, right? And they're consistent with the actual aircraft. Okay. And now we have the light switches. So unfortunately, these are just basically regular switches, but they do work. They feel pretty sturdy though. Okay, and the seatbelt signs. The exit switch, right, the emergency exit switch, this one you have to pull it out and move, right? Because this one it does have the lock, right? So if you just move it like that, it won't move. So you have to pull it out and then move. Okay. And then we have the light test and the dome light, right? And the CDR tests and everything. All right. So now let's just hook it on to the actual game and show you guys what aircraft currently is compatible with this unit and what we can do with this unit in game. All right, so first we have the Phoenix A320 in a cold and dark setting. And let's quickly power this aircraft up and then I'll show you the settings on a few different aircraft and what they look like in game. So first let's turn on the external power. I'll turn on the batteries, I'll be quick here. Okay, and then turn on the backlight. You see it's in sync with the game. All right, and then I'll turn on the dome light as well. Okay. All right, so nav light on. And you can see that the overhead panel does have built-in external lights, which is pretty cool. Okay, and we can see that later on as well, as I'll show you. Okay, so I'll turn on the cargo electricity. All right, we'll do the fire test.
Runway awareness. Okay. Meters.
Okay, and we can turn on the IRS. See, it's perfectly in sync with the game. Everything else, the same. Okay. And we can try starting the APU. Right, this is just to show you guys the functionality, right? So it's not a standard procedure. Okay, APU start. Alright, APU is available. We can turn on the APU heat, bleed, and the packs. Alright, so I guess that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please let me know your questions in the comment sections, and I'll happy to answer them if I can. And I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye for now.